Hey guys, what's going on? We've got the kickoff to season 14 here, and my alliance, Savage Squad, is going to be going against B.P.T. So this is going to be a long war video. So I went ahead and sped up all of the fights, because there are quite a few of them. So to be starting out here, we're going to be on path 4, and our first fight here is going to be a domino. And the global node here, I'm just checking my boosts. The global node here is bulwark, so there's no dodge on this node, which is good. And this is toggle unstoppable and spite. So we have to be really careful not to dex and be mindful that not all of our parries are going to land. So like I said, all the fights are going to be sped up. We have quite a few. So you can see there I accidentally triggered spite. And what I'm going to try to do is just parry and block as much as possible. Cap has really high block proficiency. So, I'm not going to take as much damage as I would if he were like a normal character with lower block proficiency. So I'm just going to play this fight really slow. I'm going to hold my specials in case I get backed up into the corner, which does tend to happen with domino, especially if you're trying not to use dexterity. So there I lost my invulnerability boost. I waited just a second too long, and I failed to nullify her unstoppable. But here we went ahead and dropped a special 3. It's pretty much what we saved it for. And yeah, finished with a heavy. That fight went pretty well. So now, for path 4, we are actually sharing that lane in my alliance. So my alliance mate, Rustler, took the aspect of war fight for me. It was a Killmonger. So I'm going to be moving on now to node 20. And this is toggle unstoppable and brute force, and I believe power focus too. So I don't have a cosmic on my team here to armor break Mysterio, but that's okay. We're just gonna try to hit him. We're just gonna try to hit him to keep the brute force off of us, but not freak out if it does get on us. Like, it's not necessarily going to kill us. So I can see this being okay placement, because if he throws his special 1 and you have brute force on you, he's going to reflect that damage back. And you'll see that does actually happen to me at one point during this fight. But we're just going to be focusing on nullifying his unstoppable and keeping brute force off of us. So we did a special 3 there, did a ton of damage, and also triggered bulwark. So he went unstoppable, or I'm sorry, he went indestructible there for a second. But now we're just focusing on finishing the fight, and I believe this is the last fight that I need cap for, so I'm not overly concerned. We're gonna go ahead and drop a special 1, and he bleeds out. So that fight is over, and now we're going to be moving along to the middle mini-bosses, and we actually got one this time, and this is going to be a Phoenix. The node here, we're going to take it linked. The node is aggression armor, and the link incoming is explosive personality, so basically don't tap into her block too much. And this fight is just going to be pretty boring. We're just ending with our light attack, bleeds to get as much damage in as possible, and drop special 2s on her. I'm not really concerned about her dodging or anything like that, since dodge isn't the global. This is a really straightforward fight. And the only thing to really be careful of, I guess, is her Phoenix Force charges. We want her to... I don't know exactly how she works. I think that she needs to, go into overload so she doesn't regenerate too much at the end of the fight. especially if you push her to a special 2. So I have pushed her to a couple special 2s now. And there she just went into overload, and I think that that's when all of her furies and stuff and her charges start dropping off. So you can see she did not regenerate at all at the end of the fight. So that fight was super straightforward. We're going to be moving on to our next section here. And it's going to be Path 1 in Section 2. Our first fight here is a rank 5 Sabertooth on Vigor and Indomitable, so no reversing his regeneration. So we're going to be using Warlock, and the play here with him is to get 20 of those little virus charges onto the opponent, and that will heal block him. And every time that he tries to regenerate, he will lose power. So we're just building to our special 2. We're going to go ahead and drop that and get off as many parries and heavies as we can. Every time you parry, you get 4 virus charges. And normally like a hit would just count as 1 virus charge. So that fight ended quickly, and it was really straightforward. And now we're going to be moving on to our next fight. It's going to be a rank 5 Namor on Enhanced Recovery, Buffet, and Indomitable. So I'm assuming that the reason that he gets placed here is because if you try to use Void against him, like all of the damage that he's taking from Void's debuffs will get reflected onto you anytime that he's attacking into you, or you're blocking or parrying. So that's my assumption. I'm not entirely sure. But for Namor, this fight is no big deal at all. We're pretty lightly boosted here. And I believe I put a tech power boost on. I had one in the overflow. So we're just going to keep the trying to increase his virus charges and get more infections on him, which reduces his ability accuracy as well. And he's down. So that fight went really well. It was super easy. And yeah, we're going to be moving on now. This is the next day. And we're just making a push right now with our alliance mates straight for the mini bosses. So this is Buffet and the best defense. And the best defense, basically, if we get parried or auto-blocked, Medusa's going to gain power. So again, what we're going to do here with Warlock is we are just going to parry and heavy. Get the bleeds on her, get the infection on her quickly, and I got tagged there. But that way, you know, her living strands won't come into play. And you can see that our bleed damage is pretty good. We've got, she's not regenerating at all. And in just a couple hits, she's down. So, I think that Warlock is probably the best option for any sort of like regeneration fights. So this node, it didn't record when I teleported over to it, but this is the debuff immune and dismay mini, and we've got an invisible woman here. So I made a mistake in this fight, and you will see it, and that is that I did not kill off Nick Fury towards the beginning. So you're gonna see this fight come down to the wire. So I'm kind of, you know, going about this fight. I was at work for it. And you'll see, like, you know, I'm getting some intercepts off, and I wasn't really paying attention to the time. I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling good about this fight. Everything seems to be going well. Just throw my special ones. And I also don't have suicides on, which diminishes my damage quite a bit. So we can't miss her because we have our tactical charges up from the special ones. We're just going to keep throwing those. And normally I feel like my suicides are kind of chipping me down and the recoil chips me down, and then at some point during the fight, I end up killing him off. But obviously that didn't happen this time. So we're about halfway through the fight. I think about now is when I noticed, like, okay, I'm not quite on pace to finish on time. So I'm going to start trying to play a little bit more aggressively. Any moment now. So we're getting our intercepts off. And now we've got about 40 seconds left. We just got tagged there. And I think that was when I realized, like, okay, I need to kill him off. Her shield just came back up, her force field. So we're down to, got parried there. We're down to about 20 seconds. She's still got some force field left on her. And I ran out of tactical charges, so yeah, this got pretty crazy. So now we're down to 5, 4, and we finished the fight. So that was definitely a photo finish. It was super close, much closer than it should have been. And now, because I was at work and I try to do these fights quickly at work, that was like, you know, a 3-minute fight plus the Medusa fight before it. I was definitely rushing in this fight, and you'll see it's just really sloppy. So we're gonna take Warlock in, and I played this really like loose, I think, because I was never in any sort of fear of like dying with Warlock. He can't be bled or poisoned. So I guess so there I got tagged by part of a special 2, but I think in my mind I was just like, okay, I know that the damage is there. I know that I will finish the fight. If I get hit a little bit, it doesn't really matter. So there I took a special 1, and I think this is when I kind of started focusing a little bit and realized that I was screwing up quite a bit. So I'm going to try to play this fight a little bit more carefully. Baiting out a special 2 there. We're going to drop our special 2. And I think part of it too is because I didn't have suicides on for this war, and I'm used to playing with suicides. I think that I'm just used to the fights being over so much more quickly and my damage being so inflated that, you know, I was getting a little bit, like the damage is, I guess, about 60% less than what I'm used to. So, we're going to continue hitting into him. This fight really poses no risk as long as you're running like a double immune champion. And we're going to go ahead and drop our special 2. That'll finish the fight. And that is actually the end of our war. My alliance did end up losing. So congratulations to both sides. It's not the way that we wanted to start the season, but it is what it is, and we'll see you in the next war video.